Hello, hello, my crafty friends. My name is Melissa Kerman, and you are joining me here at Melissa's Crafting Treehouse in my studio for some paper crafting fun tonight. I don't know about you, but I am thinking a lot about Christmas and Christmas cards. And just make sure that there's audio here. When you join in, please let me know that you can hear me. I have to have one of my devices muted and the other one not muted so that we don't get feedback. So yeah, anyway, as soon as you join in, let me know that you can hear me. So the project I have tonight is a Christmas card. I'm obsessed with trying to come up with super simple Christmas cards. So just to make it easy, because typically people are making lots of cards at Christmas to send to their Christmas list. And, you know, if you're making a bunch, you definitely want it to be easy. Let's see what we got here. So, yeah, so my project features embossing folders, which is one of my all-time favorite products that I can play with, that I play with. And I'm circling back around to some techniques that I've played with in the past and sort of fan favorites. And I hope you're going to enjoy it tonight. So I'm also going to be using some of the new in colors. Well, not new, the 2022, 2024 in colors. And I am just going to check in my tech here, make sure that people are out there and that I'm actually live. Comment when you've joined in and let me know who's out there, where you're coming from. And let me just do a little recap for those of you who are joining in. So I've got a Christmas card tonight. It's a simple card. I'm going to show various variations of some dry embossing with embossing folders. And I'm going to be using some of the brand new embossing folders from the mini catalog. That's only been live for about a month now, I guess. And they're really, really cool ones. So let me just quickly show you what we're going to be making, what we're using. We're going to just kind of dive in real fast. So we're using these two embossing folders, the Snowflake Sky and Christmas Tidings. Christmas Tidings has a whole bunch of, letters, words in it, Christmas words. And this is going to make for a super easy Christmas card. So that's what we're using. And this is just one of the variations that we're going to make. And I'm going to show you at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 different kinds of focal pieces to use techniques with the embossing folders. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and dive in. Let's see. I got a couple of quick, well, I'll save the announcements till the end. How about that? All right, so we are going to start with a piece of, what is this called? Starry Sky cardstock, one of my very favorite colors. In fact, I'm using 3, I'm going to show you 3 of the 2022-24 in colors for today's project. So we're going to start by dry embossing it with the Christmas Tidings set. And I can't do it with this one because it's too big, too small. I need to go grab my big one. For some reason, I was thinking that was a narrow one. Okay. So this is my large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That's what we need. And this embossing folder is actually not a 3D folder. It's just a regular embossing folder. Most of them seem to be the 3D ones these days. So our layering is a little bit different, simpler. So we've got our base plate, one of our cutting plates, and then we're going to put our cardstock into the embossing folder. Now I like to pick where on the embossing folder I'm going to have my words. So you can kind of position it to get certain parts of the shapes on the folder. So I'm going to center it like that. I want to have the full edge of the Christmas, and I'm going all the way down to the bottom of the G on Tidings. We always want to go in with our spine first, and that just puts less strain on the spine. And then I'm just going to quickly run that through. And then we're going to have this nice, lovely texture on here, which is the impression of that embossing folder. Let's see. All right. Just looking at comments. I'm not seeing any comments. Do comment if you want to say hello. Tell me where you're from. If you are also embossing is one of your favorite techniques like me, using embossing folders, chime in and let me know let me know if you agree with me, if that's something you love as well. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to actually grab my Craft White Craft White Pigment ink pad. This is a really juicy, wet ink pad. It's different from the classic inks. Oh, and look at that. Fell out of its... This is an old ink pad. Let's get that back in there. Okay. And all I'm going to do on this is so super simple. Now, this is not where I started with this project, so I'm going to explain to you sort of the journey that I went on here. Hi, Jolene. Yay, so glad to see someone commenting. You guys are quiet tonight. Say hello. Hi, Mary Beth. Good to see you here. Wonderful. All right, so I'm just going to literally run this over the surface of my embossed piece to bring out the shapes of the impression. So super, super simple. Now this is going to dry a little bit lighter than you're going to see here. So I'm going to try to get a good, nice coating of the embossing powder on there. I'm sorry, I have the white craft ink on there. But you can see it's getting a little bit in behind in the sort of the recessed portions as well, but you get the idea. It's really kind of pretty. Now, when I started working on this project, I actually started from a completely different place, and I'm going to journey back to that at the end to tell you sort of what my creative journey was all about. Now I'm going to bring in this original card, and I want you to just kind of notice the difference. Can you see that this is a little bit more muted, if you will, and there's some shininess on there. So what I did with this one is I actually took this piece that has the white craft ink on it, and I put it into some clear embossing powder, and this is a sticky wet ink, so that the clear embossing powder stuck to it, and wherever there was some of the ink on the recessed portions, it also got into the clear embossing was in the recessed portions as well. And it made it a little bit more muted. So I'm thinking that this might end up being the sort of more crisp look than this one. But this is sort of the second way to use the embossing. So step 2, again, is to put clear embossing powder on that and then heat it. Now, I also did a couple other things to this, but I'm going to wait to tell you about that in just a second. So there's number 1. Now, the next thing you can do is... let's see, where's my piece? Looking for my piece. All right. Is use a white piece, and I dry emboss this just on white cardstock. So I really wanted to try to bring out the words on here in different ways. So what we're going to try next is adding a different color ink on here. Not white. We're going to add the starry sky on here now. And I'm going to use a blending brush. And I'm just going to go over it. Now, this is, of course, is going to get into some of the recessed portions just because it's a brush and it's going to press down into those. But it's mostly catching on the words. So there's sort of option 2 and kind of more subtle. Now, if I put it on here, you can see it kind of gets washed out. So we need a different layer in there, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Now, the alternative, and I'm just going to show you the backside because I played around with the backside, is to go direct to the paper with the ink pad in this color. And of course, it's all backwards, but that's what it looks like. And it's really nice and brilliant. So I just wanted to show you that, to show you the subtle element. But now I'm going to go over the front where you can actually see the words direct to paper. So the ink pad direct to paper. So just, I'm going to get a whole lot more color on there. It's catching on those raised areas. And I kind of love that. I think this might be my all-time favorite Stampin' Up! Color, this Starry Sky. So look how much brighter that's getting than just using the blending brush. Depends on what kind of effect you want, right? If you want it to be more subtle, you want it to be darker. And I could keep going over that. You can see the back side is much darker. So obviously backwards letters, but you can go as light or as dark as you want, but just super pretty. I like that a lot. All right. So that's the next one. Now, where is number 3? That's number 3. Okay, so number 4. So we've now got our 1 heat embossed, 2 the white on the Starry Sky, and now the Starry Sky on the white. And then the next thing I played with was, where is it? Where did I put it? Okay. Oh, right here. Okay. So I'm going to move these ones out of the way just a bit. And now I'm going to get to the real inky fun. Hi, Jan. Hi, Kathy. Hi, MJ. Hey, glad to see you guys here. Wonderful. Okay, so now I'm taking the Starry Sky, and some of you probably know what I'm going to do. I'm looking for the flat side, this one. So the letters on this side are recessed, and the area that's more surface area is what's not the letters. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to cover this whole thing with ink. I love this technique. And it does a pretty good job of not getting into the grooves. But when I do my dry embossing, that's going to be the true test of how little got in the grooves. All right, so now I'm going to grab my piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to go on the back side to sort of gauge where I want it, because the front, this other side has ink on it. So I'm just going to get that position in there. And I'm going to do the same as I did last time. So I'm going to come down to the bottom of Tidings and get the whole of the Christmas. Now, I am not going to fold this over until I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with me. Okay, so there's my big beast. My layers. And got my embossing folder, and I am just going to fold that right over onto where I placed it. Oh, I think I missed a little spot on that end. Darn. Okay, well, we'll see how it turns out. What's done is done. It's there. All right. Just run that baby through. So as always, you can go as simple or as complex as you want with almost any project, really. This one, of course, is more inky, a little bit more involved, but it's a pretty cool result. So I'm going to put that aside in a bucket of water, but there you go. You can see that. I got a nice white, crisp image for the most part. Now this got a little bit fuzzy. I think I might have moved the embossing folder, but you kind of get the idea. This part over here is much more crisp. So let's look at them all again. And then we'll put one of these together, because that's just the fun part, right? Actually seeing it done. So all the different options. Now I also played around with doing it on some other colors, because I thought that would be fun. So here's one done on red, also with the red on the embossing folder. So that. And then I also thought it would be fun to see what the white looked like on the red cardstock. So let's grab our white craft ink again. And we're just going to rub it over the surface, just like we did last time. all these different fun variations and different color schemes. Just make it so much fun. And I haven't even gotten around to my original piece that I did. I'll bring that in just a second. So anyway, there you go. There's the white on the red. And the white crafting takes a little while to dry, so best to not, put a card together with one that was just done. This one's probably pretty close to dry. I think it is. So let's put a card together. Alrighty. Oh, actually, last but not least, I'm going to bring you in the one that I started with. So this was the first one that I did. I didn't really like it. Now I did the same technique where I put the ink onto the embossing folder. So here I put Starry Sky on the embossing folder. Here I put Versamark on the embossing folder, ran it through, and then put it into some gold embossing powder. So that obviously I would heat emboss with the gold. This is more time consuming, more complicated, and actually I didn't even really like how it turned out, which is why I ended up playing with all these sort of colored versions. So that was my little journey. All right, so let's put one of these together. And which one do I want to put together? Let's see. I think maybe I want to see what this one looks like. I did a little bit different layering for this one, so let's move some of these other ones off to the side. All right. And then what I've got here, I've got this piece here, which has been dry embossed with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder, and makes a great backdrop for this. And then for this one, I'm going to actually use a Starry Sky layer in behind. Now, it's a little bit shorter. It doesn't go all the way side to side like this one does. So it's going to be a slight different variation. Let's just get this together and see what it looks like. So now I have all of these focal pieces, and I can make a whole bunch of cards really quick. Christmas cards that are really pretty easy. The most amount of work is just running them through that die cutting machine. Now I've got, no, I'm not using that. Okay, so we got this, and we got our white in behind. That actually looks really pretty too, just without the white. But let's see what it looks like with white. I've got it going all the way side to side with a little bit of Orchid Oasis in behind. Oh, black cardstock with white. Yes, that would probably look really cool. And yes, like a blackboard. I was thinking that too when I saw like this one, made me think of a blackboard. I agree with you, Kathy. Hi, Donna. Good to see you here joining in. I love it. All right, so there's this version. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one together because why not? I've got this one's got adhesive on the back, so we're going to use that one just to make life very easy. And again, it's going to go all the way side to side on the card base. I got that centered. All right, and then now for this layer, I didn't want it on dimensionals. I didn't want it popped up like a lot. So I went in and I grabbed a couple of scraps. I have so many scraps, sometimes multiple pieces in the same size like I do this. So I'm going to layer these up a bit and use this for my popped up dimension. And I'm either going to use just 2, maybe 3 layers. You can see it goes almost side to side, but it'll be hidden back there. And it just gives us a nice little subtle bit of dimension without just being in your face, you know? I've already got the dimension of the embossing folder, so I figured I didn't need too much, but I wanted some separation between the layers. All right. And then we're going to put some embellishments on as well. So I'm going to leave a little extra space at the bottom. there. Okay, that's a little bit, the white's a little bit wider than the blue, but it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be okay. All right. Now I have these in color embellishments. These are actually the 2022-24 in color pearls is what they're called. So perfect for these projects where I'm using all the in colors. And I'm just going to grab a couple of these Starry Sky pearls and put them down in the lower right hand corner. Super simple card. Like I said, all the work is just in doing that dry embossing, adding your ink, and there you go. Super easy. So I'm going to let you sort of creatively visualize how these other ones are going to look. This one, of course, I would have on the white. So I've got an extra layer of white in behind here. Part of why I wanted to have it popped up a little bit because it's the white on the white. But I think that'll also look really nice. Just a real simple look. And then, of course, I will do some layering with the red ones. For this one, I used, this is real red. And the layering would be, I actually have some layering here. Sweet Sorbet, which is the in color, the white dry embossed piece. And then I'd have this piece on here with the white in the background and some of the Sweet Sorbet embellishments down the bottom. So you can see when it's right up against it, you can't really tell that there's this added layer of white in here, which is why I did that. And why I wanted to pop it up a little bit so that it would show up. And then let's look at what this one will look like. So there's that one. So just fun. This is definitely the most bold. Now I played around with a green version too, but I haven't put any of it together. The color scheme will be the Pretty Peacock, Granny Apple Green, and that'll be my Christmas. Little untraditional green, but I thought it would be fun to play with that green as well. So these are all my crazy, simple variations on the project tonight. So stay tuned for finished projects. I'm just going to keep this simple and only show you what I got right here. Let's see what else. What else did I want to share with you today? Well, I guess a couple of reminders. Put this baby on screen. So Maker's Mojo, the Creative Escape, is coming up October 20th and 21st. And the Facebook group is live on October 4th. So it's about 2.5 weeks ahead. And we do that because we have fun play-along posts in the event group for the 2 weeks in advance of the event. So play-along posts start on October 6th. And there are prize drawings for each of the 10 play-along posts. So it's always best if you're going to participate in the event to sign up early and get into the group early. And there's just lots of fun and chatter and conversation that goes on in the group before the actual event on the 20th and 21st. So there is that. The links to sign up for that are in the video description. Let's see what else. World Card Baking Day is coming up on October 7th. That's actually next weekend. And it's a free virtual event for anybody that wants to attend. You can find a link also in the video description and then, of course, on the Stampin' Up! Website. It's both for customers and for demonstrators, so it's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who are local, I'm actually planning to do a sort of piggyback event the same day on October 7th. We're going to make Christmas cards at my house in my studio. So if you're local and you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'm really late on the planning, but mentioned it to my club members and other people who were here this past week and got some interest. So I'm doing it. And we're going to be making some really cute and simple cards. And there'll be 2 cards. And my thinking is a tag. I haven't designed the tags yet, but yeah, it should be really fun prep for Christmas. What else? And then, of course, there's some new online exclusive items coming at the beginning of October, and there's a joining special coming in October. More details about that coming soon. And I am planning to go live next Thursday with another project. Now, comment here. I have a couple of projects that I'm thinking about. One of them is a fall themed project, and the other is, and I'm going to show me now. And the other is another Christmas card. And it's actually kind of a special Christmas theme for my friends in Australia and places where Christmas is actually summertime. I was inspired to make a card with that in mind. So vote. Let me know. Comment here. Let me know. Would you rather see a fall themed card or a Christmas card? And that'll help me decide. Now, if I do fall next week, I'm going to do Christmas the week after, or vice versa. So you're going to get to see them both. It's really just a matter of what you'd rather see sooner. So yeah, comment and let me know. And make sure to share, tag, follow, and like here on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're watching. Oh, Jane, you want to see a summer Christmas? Oh, I see a fall and a fall. We'll have to just keep voting, comment, and let me know. So let's see what else. Yeah, so I'll be live next Thursday, and I think I'm going to go live the week after that as well. Like I said, these 2 consecutive weeks, and then the week after that, I need to take a week off. So, just working around life schedules, but trying to come on live as much as I possibly can to share fun projects with you. So, and I just remembered I should show you on the inside. Let's switch this over. Forgot to show you guys the inside. I actually did a strip of just a piece of white I used the blending brush on this to add a little bit of color in there. So just a fun little added element on the inside. So nice to bring what's on the outside to the inside. You could see the little embellishments there too. I think this is the first time I've used these embellishments. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. So on this card, the other thing that I did, I wanted to make the present and some of these other elements, the gingerbread man, show up a little bit more. So I used my Starry Sky Blends alcohol marker to color them in. Now it was a little bit tricky because I really needed to not be on what was heat embossed, because Blends alcohol markers will color onto what's heat embossed, and it'll keep that color. So I did that. And then I also used some Wink of Stella, which you might be able to see. There's a little bit of shininess on those images. There's also some shininess from the heat embossing, of course, but yeah, so I just added that added little elements there. And I don't know, you can see probably the added dimension with the layers of cardstock I added in behind there. It's not quite flush. Anyway, that's a few additional details I forgot to mention. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up for me. Does anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions? I'm always open to ideas. So my embossing folder that I just put the Starry Sky on is way over there in a bucket of water, soaking. But anyway, so I will be back next Thursday. Keep voting. Let me know, fall or Christmas, and I will. I'll go with the majority, because either way, it's going to be fun. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining in, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Happy crafting. Hey, here we go. Me. Bye, everybody.